Hey, fellow truth seekers, welcome back. This is the 111th post. I'm dedicating it to Bill Clinton, the city of New York, and even myself. Why myself? I was born July 21st, 1983. You'd write that date 7/21/83. In numerology, you can sum your date that way, so 7 plus 21 plus 83. That sums to 111. Also, what's interesting about my birthday is that on that day, the coldest day in recorded history was recorded. It still hasn't been broken. So I was born on the coldest day there ever was in the time of recorded history so far. But all records are meant to be broken, right? So anyway, Bill Clinton. A lot of people don't know this about him. He was born William Jefferson Blythe, not Clinton. And when I was first learning about this gematria, this practice of coding numbers into words, when I learned about this, it really made me go, this is real. I didn't know that much at this time, but this story right here was a big clicker for me. All right, so he's born William Jefferson Blythe the third. You know who else is the third that's a Bill? Bill Gates. He's the third in his family heritage. The name Bill Gates in gematria sums to 33. Bill Gates stepped down from head of Microsoft after 33 years. Look at Bill Gates' headlines. I just saw a recent one about a month back. Bill Gates on a $330 million boat. I mean, why do I need to know that? You can look it up too. Search for it. Anyway, the name Blythe sums to 27 in gematria, the product of 3 times 9. The name Clinton sums to 33, 3 times 11. You find this 33 in a lot of world leader names. When Bill Clinton was president, Ehud Barak was the prime minister in Israel. Barak is spelled B-A-R-A-K, the way he spelled it, slightly different than our president. That also sums to 33. He was not born with that last name. He changed it. And there's a history of this all throughout the world. My blog is full of these posts. The most recent 33 named country in the world is Tajikistan. It was formed after the collapse of the Soviet Union. In the early 90s, that country was made. It's had the same president ever since. He also changed his name, so it would sum to 33 to match the country. It's amazing. All right. So, Bill Clinton's father was murdered 3 months before Bill Clinton was even born. I shouldn't say that because officially he wasn't murdered. According to the police report, he drowned in 3 feet of water on the side of the road on a business trip coming back from Chicago to Arkansas, where he lived, where his son, Bill Clinton, the 42nd president, would later be born. The reason that a report like this can happen and there can be no justice is because I believe the police and the courts are totally in on this. The word police in gematria sums to 33. Imagine if police in the department have the authority to kill people and then write false reports. Who's going to go above them and stop it? And I really think that's what's happening, and that's likely what happened to his father, who's said to have died in 3 feet of water on the side of the road. Also, what's interesting is that he was coming back from Chicago, where so much of this 33 comes out of in my research. Chicago is currently divided into 77 neighborhoods. The phrase Knights of Templar sums to 77 in gematria. The American meridian's the 77th meridian. The Pentagon's located on that. It's 77 feet tall. On September 11th, it was Flight 77 that hit it. The word Knight sums to 33. The word Templar sums to 31. The foundational degrees of Scottish Rite Freemasonry are 31, 32, and 33, so 31 through 33. If you look at the founding of this country, the first president, George Washington, the paintings of him show him with his Masonic triangle with a 33 in it because he was a 33rd degree Mason, as so many of the founders were. So, his father, he's murdered on this date, 5/17/1946, date with the numerology of 33. His son later takes on this 33 name. The day 17 sums to the word Mason, just like the word Bill. It should be noted that he didn't change William Jefferson Blythe III, didn't change his name to William Jefferson Clinton until just before he went off to college, where he crossed paths with the president after him, the 43rd president, George W. Bush, who was born July 6, 1946. The numerology of that date, 7 plus 6 plus 1 plus 9 plus 4 plus 6, sums to 33. George W. Bush would become president 55 years after being born. He would also become president 33 years after graduating from Yale Skull and Bones in the year 1968. 33 years after 68 is 2001. In that year, 68, 911 was made the national emergency dialing code. World Trade Center construction began. MLK and RFK were assassinated. Stanley Kubrick also came out with his movie Space Odyssey 2001. Not long after George W. Bush was born, William Jefferson Clinton was born, August 19th, 1946. He also has some interesting life numbers and numerology that show up a lot in this hoax reporting, and the numbers 38 and 73 are huge in the Ebola thing right now. Also with George W. Bush's birthday, that 7-6 birthday, 76 sums to the phrase Knight of Templar, the singular. Remember, the original Freemasons. And if you don't think these people are into numbers, Yale Skull and Bones, where he went, their code number is 322. They even go by a number. So check this out. When I was doing this research, it also made me go, where does the name Clinton come from? And where I traced it back to were the original governors of New York. New York was established on the 33rd day of the year, February 2nd. Earlier this year, February 2nd, 2014, the Super Bowl was hosted in New York and New Jersey. The first time it was ever hosted on the 33rd day of the year, and the first time by two states, the 3rd and the 11th. 3 times 11 is 33. In that game, the Seahawks won the Super Bowl. They're the only team in the NFL with a gematria, a name that sums to 33, like Clinton. The only team with a 33 name won their first Super Bowl on the only Super Bowl ever played on the 33rd day of the year. The MVP of the game had a 33-33 name, and there's just so much more. The Seahawks team is just so full of 33. Their star player Sherman has a 33 name. Anyway, let's go back on topic. William Jefferson Clinton. William, a common name from the UK to the USA for people in power, sums to 34. 34 is the 9th Fibonacci number. Fibonacci numbers are the numbers of life. The spiral of the galaxy, the print in your hand, a leaf. They're the numbers of nature. When you break them down, there's this sequence called the Fibonacci sequence. The 9th number in that sequence is 34. Jefferson sums to 44. And the name Clinton sums to 33. If you put it all together, it sums to 111. With regards to 34 and 44, there's something called the Georgia Guidestones. Georgia is the 4th state. The word Georgia sums to 44. The Georgia Guidestones are on the 34th parallel north, and they're currently in their 34th year anniversary. They were put there March 22nd, 1980, 322, like Yale Skull and Bones. Very similar numbers coded in. The name New York, like William Jefferson Clinton, also sums to 111. New is the meaning of life number 42. Other 3-letter words that sum to 42 are war, sin, gun. When you think about the history of this nation, you think about a nation that's been at war for almost all of its existence. And then you find within our own language, war has the meaning of life numerology, as does sin and gun. York, when reduced with the smaller method, can also sum to 33. So it's another 33 word. You know, when I think about George W. Bush and Bill Clinton and Barack Hussein Obama, what I think about are essentially figureheads, excuse makers for we the people to fall behind the lies that are done to us. For much of the last decade, Bill Clinton's been out there shouting down people who've questioned 9/11. But why? Why? Let's go back to that name, William. There's something I wanted to mention about New York. Do you notice how William has that sequence? I underlined it, 9339 within the numbering. Do you see that for William? The abbreviation NY is 14 plus 25, sums to 39. When you sum the word New York with the reduced method, New York sums to 39, as does the word empire, and New York's the Empire State. The United Nations in New York are 39 floors tall. It should also be noted that the United Nations circular symbol with the globe and the compartments within it, there's 33 sections within that symbol. Not an accident. The person who founded the UN has a 33 name, and the charter date for the UN is 33 name. And there's just so much more. You have to check out my other videos. You have to subscribe. I have a lot of information to share. If this sounds crazy to you, what I ask of you is that you go back and watch my introductory post, which I'll link in the comments, and see the greater picture of what is going on, and just how this William Jefferson Clinton is just one small piece of what was going on long before he was even on this planet. Also, about New York, they opened up Grand Central Station on February 2nd, 1913, the 33rd day of the year. The first train came out of there. At the time, it was the biggest train station in the world. The word biggest equals 33 in Gematria. And when you look at our history, the biggest events, they're all coded with the same numbers. 9/11 was an event focused on 33. 11/9, November 9th, the reverse of that date, is when the Berlin Wall fell. The word Berlin equals 33 in Gematria. The name Kennedy equals 33 in Gematria. If you look at the dates of the ski accident, the plane crash, the drug overdose, all this stuff, the numerology is 33. And if you think that is a coincidence, what I say to you is, you're not